Yes, 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 we are back. Listen, man, hopefully everyone had a great Christmas and, ate some good food, drank some good drink, chilled out with family, with the loved ones. Hopefully, no headache, man. Hey, listen, we got Liverpool versus Leicester now. Boxing Day special. Last time out, 4-0 when we played them at Boxing Day. Can it be the same? We went on to win the Premier League that said season. So fingers crossed that could be the same thing that happened this time, man. Big up to Zabiri. He said he's in, he's chilling, he's relaxing. What are you saying, bro? What you want to tell the people, man, before we chop it up? If you can
You
hear
know,
me.
yeah, I can hear you. I had something profound to drop just now, man, but then I realized, man, we ain't here for profound knowledge. We're here for football, man. So,
Hey, drop the knowledge,
yeah,
bro. This is the whole point of the intro section, bro. You know what I mean? We go off on a tangent. Whatever is said, we say, and then we move on to the football.
nah, man, nothing profound, man. Just live within what you're living within, man, and that's it. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be profound. Could be bully beef and bread. You know what I'm trying to say? Can be tea or just hot water, fam. Ain't got to be coffee all the time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Prices is just a number, fam. If you work hard enough, that shit is irrelevant. You know what I mean? So get to it, man. A lot of profound stuff.
Nah, I hear it, man. Honestly, says no. Salah posted his Xmas tree, so it's all over, bro. I swear Salah posts his Christmas tree every year, man. So why is there an issue? He posts it every year, bro. I don't know, but the omen is every time he posts a Christmas tree, he goes on not even a drop, but his performance is dropping it. So I don't know if that's going to be the same thing with him, but
Nah, bro, that's just man looking for a profound excuse to say, yo, the star didn't shine as bright as it was, so my day is bad. Like, nah, man, that has nothing to do with your day. Man, Christmas tree ain't got nothing to do with his performance. You know what I'm trying to say? So
but
it's just one of them things, man. A lot of profound stuff, man.
well, people, as you said, people are always looking for an excuse or looking for a reason to complain about something. He's quite happy, bro. He obviously doesn't care about what people are saying because he just keeps posting. He keeps putting it up. I'm sure he's a self-aware man to go right. Every time I post a Christmas tree, I start dipping in form and that.
Nah,
I'm sure.
that's like man saying, yo, they lucky socks. Lucky socks, bro. It's just cotton or whatever your socks is made of.
Mm.
Bro, yeah, man, man's trying to like blame the universe and some random objects, bro, for the result. Nah, man, it's calm, bro. There's no correlation between man tree and performance. It's telling me man just bought a Christmas tree and all of a sudden man ain't shining what? I hear it still.
Hey, nah, big up to Adrian. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Man, so what's wrong about it? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just some people will moan about him. I don't even know if he's even celebrating Christmas, bro. It's a holiday, in it. So he's just doing it. Maybe his family they're more used to it. His daughters are used to it because they were over here. They've grown up here more than they grew up, in Egypt, bro. So or wherever else he was. He was in Italy. He was all over the place, bro. So he can share the same beliefs, but it doesn't mean that his kids are gonna share the same stuff.
Yeah,
So
bro. So man telling me because he's a footballer, the quality of the life his family is living is irrelevant.
that's what it sounds like.
Nah, that's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. But big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone tuning in on the front end or the back end. You know what I'm trying to say. Thanks for joining in, man. Let's get to it. Discuss some things, man. Leicester
Um,
coming up. Did you check
bro,
the injury list for Leicester?
nah, I looked at, it, but it's not. Apart from Vardy, bro, like he's the only one that most of us most people are concerned about because he scores against us every time he plays, or he has a
Yeah,
good game.
for Tau, I didn't know the injury or when it occurred, but they say he's back early August of next year. So it look like he has a season-long injury. He was a danger man for him.
Mm,
Um, they do got the capacity to play football because they have 11 available players. So as long as we're tidy, I think we should be able to skate through. Whether it's like one of them sexy 4-0 or you know what I mean, one of them just calm 2-0. I think
mm.
we have enough talent to override whatever they might pose. But football is an interesting thing because on any day, the right tactics or the right setup in the right moments, it can deem fruitful. So I think it'll just be another routine one for us, man.
No, I was looking at their results because I fully expect us to beat them. But just looking at, let's break it down. Let's go. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go six. They lost six results, bro. They lost 2-1 to Chelsea, lost 4-1 to Brentford. Then they had the 3-1 win against West Ham. They drew 2-2 against Brighton. They lost 4-0 to Newcastle, and then they lost 3-0 to Wolves last weekend. I don't know, bro. Like, they're conceding a lot of goals. That's 3-4, 2-1, 4-2. Like, it doesn't sound to me like a team that's shored up defensively. Or, and then if I go past that, Man United put 3 past them. And just before that, they put 5 past them as well, man. So that was rude. That was when Ruud van Nistelrooy was there. I think the 5-2. And I think the 3-0 was the last game. And then he took over after that. And I think that was more the Leicester. Was that? No. That was the Leicester Chelsea one. I think that's when he kind of took over. So they're not a team that I look at and go, rah, we should be really worried about them. But yeah, listen, on the day, anything can happen. Injuries, red cards. The man that might not even be on it. I don't know. Ate too much on Christmas Day. Who knows? There's so many different factors that can play in this. But this ain't a game for me, Zabir, bro, that I'm looking at going, rah, we might struggle here,
All right. So if that's how you're feeling, what are your expectations team wise and or player wise in this game from us?
Do you know, I'm looking at a similar performance what we did against Spurs, but without conceding the 3 that we did, in the manner how we conceded them 3 goals against Spurs. Because I looked at all of the goals we conceded, and they weren't like great football or great patterns of play from Spurs. It was just moments of they ain't doing nothing here, and then that's when we switched off. Oh, they're not gonna do nothing here, and then that moment of switching off, we conceded those 3 goals. Losing out on a back post header, Virgil not tight enough to his striker. He just runs off the back of him. Virgil stepping out into a no man's land area, and then a nice little scoop over the top from Solanke when Gravenberch could have done that job easily. And then there's nothing really in it for me, bro. The goals that they scored, and then McAllister losing it in the center of the park, and then they scored from it. So none of their goals I look at and go, rah, well done, Spurs.
All right, can I ask you a question? Who do we have after Leicester?
West Ham.
All right, so are you worried that we don't have the capacity to string consistent dominant performances together? I feel like against Spurs it was very dominant. We did Man City and Real Madrid 2 dominant performances, and then the next game or the third game we weren't really on it. So basically, Leicester's within that range that we can string those consistent performances together. But then that sets us up for a drop-off on that third game. Wouldn't you want to see a more consistent, dominant performance then?
Yeah, no, but that's what I want to see. But at the same time, I think around the December period, the festive period, is more around just getting the results. But at the same time, if we want to kind of keep the confidence, keep the way we're playing in terms of, like, let's be strong defensively, even though I don't mind what kind of happens. I still think defensively. So I wouldn't mind like a 2-1 or a 3-1, you know what I mean? And we had to scrape it, but we got the win, but we're conceding low amount of goals. But conceding 3 against Newcastle, 2 against Fulham, and then 3 against Spurs. Yeah, like, even though, we didn't lose them games, I don't know, bro. I don't want to be conceding that many goals in games, bro. I'll take a shit 2-1, a silly 3-1 where, it was 2-1 for ages and we just sealed it off at the last minute of the game. But to like concede these nothing goals against Spurs, yeah, man, it's mad. And I know it sounds contradictory because obviously I said I don't mind how the results are, but it's just looking at certain things and then going into the second half of the season. I think you can kick on from there.
Player-wise, is there any player like, yo, I want to see this from this player or in this moment or in this game? Is there anything you want to see from any player specifically?
I think at the back line in general, I want a clean sheet. I look across the back line and I'll show you who I kind of put up in terms of who's gonna start. But I need the back line in general just to have one. You know that game where the strikers they're not even in the game, bro. The wingers are not even in the game. We had it against Spurs to for large majority of the game, but it's just the goals we can. But I want it to be exactly that, but without conceding the goals. So let's tighten up
Okay.
winning every duel. And I know you're asking for a lot in it because winning every duel, it's not going to happen. It's the Premier League. You're going to lose out at some point, maybe one or two. But I just want the back line to have a really good game where them man, they're just locking off everything. Nothing's getting through.
Are you hopeful with the back line or slightly worried? And the reason why I'm asking, I got a message during the Spurs game. I mentioned, he's not a big fan of this back five because the back five has been together for too long. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't think it's that deep because a lot of people don't really have an issue with any of the back five per se. Because if I'm right, there's a position I'll improve. Most people would go left back. But you can't give me 10 games where the left back has really been at fault or sloppy enough. You know what I'm trying to say? So there's not really a lot of evidence against the back five. Well, a lot of people are just like, yeah, they've been together for too long. It's time to shift it up or shake it up. You think a shake up is necessary, or you think it's just a consistent performance that's needed?
No, I don't think you need to shake. The thing about having a defense that's been together for a long time, it should be more positive than a negative. I think the only negative you can look at, maybe they just trust each other a bit more than what you'd usually do. So, you're not on edge because you're like, nah, Virgil will deal with that. Oh, no, Gomez is quick enough. Nah, Robbo, after past years of, he'll cover that round. Nah, Trent will deal with that one. I think that's the only negative you get from a defense being together for too long. But I think it's more positive. So they understanding each other's game inside out. So that's why I would expect less like errors to happen when you've been together for a lot longer, because all right, his shape of his body's this way. I've seen this a couple of times where he's lose that. So let me be ready to cover and sweep up anything that happens around it. So I don't think it needs necessarily a shake-up at this stage. I think maybe next season you'd probably look at, and I think that's what we'll do anyway. I think a new left back would come in and would probably add an additional centre back in there. So we do have someone that's gonna maybe not replace Virgil, but gonna be ready to take the reins whenever he decides, it's time for him to wrap up. Because at the moment, you don't really have that. You got Ibu that can do that, but then you don't have someone that will replace Ibu. No one really looks at Gomez as that guy anymore in terms of, being a mainstayer in the team. They look at him more of a utility, can play left back, right back, and fill in centre back. So I think one more centre back and future proof in the left back. I think that's where we're at. So, but at this stage now, bro, I don't think it necessarily needs a shake up. It just needs Ibu back in there. I think that's all we need. We need Ibu back in the defense, and I think that's when we'll get back to probably the clean sheets and maybe just nullifying it, maybe even just the one. Because before he left, people were starting to fear him, bro. Before his injury, teams like I saw people just turning away. They're going in a foot race, and there's no point here. And I only saw that with Virgil. That's the only other defender I've ever seen that with. You go with a one-on-one duel with him, and you just give up before you even attempt to try and win it. So yeah, to answer your question, bro. Nah, I don't think we need a shake-up just yet.
Okay. Midfield-wise, you feel like this is a game where the midfield can really dominate? Because I feel like, depending on who you ask, they'll tell you left back is a problem. But then all the games we struggled in, separate from maybe like one or two selfish moments from the attack, the midfield hasn't really dominated the game. So I feel like we can be good at if we come up against like them robust challenging midfield like your Newcastle's. Everton look like they got some legs in there. They can really put a midfield battle together. I don't feel like our midfielders are really built for that. Size-wise and just physicality-wise, to dominate a game with the crunching tackles and being press resistant.
So look, they're gonna have. I think it was Samore they had and Skip in the last game in their midfield. Like they played a double pivot. if you're telling me Samora is an inexperienced, he looks decent, but Skip, we know he's been at Spurs, he's been around the block kind of thing. But if you're telling me we can't dominate that with Gravenberch, McAllister, and Sobbo, if that's the three we run with, then yeah, now we would have to be worried. I think we'll dominate the midfield with what we've got, and I feel like the guys have been in such good form, especially Gravenberch. I think this could be a good game, but I don't know what Leicester is going to do. Are they going to do the whole low block sitting in and try and counter attack with if Vardy's fit and Ayew and I think he's a Bobby Dakota Reed. I think they've now got there. I don't know if they're going to try and do that, or they're going to actually just go, do you know what? Fuck it, we ain't got nothing to lose. Let's just go and play.
Because I think that's how we come up short. You know, we come up short in all the games we've come up short in, and even a Chelsea game which we managed to win. It's the games where the pressure on the midfield was intense. Like there was an intense pressing going on. So the midfield don't necessarily have to press us to dominate us, but just can press us into some loose errors. Because once we get pressed, the notion outside of Gravenberch is to, all right, let me pass it back. And then if they keep on with the press, they can get something out of the game. We've seen teams get something out of the game just by doing that.
The pressing, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just pressing us. And you're like, yo, we can't just beat that press. So I don't feel like it's not a strength of ours, beating a press in some moments. When it does come off, yeah, it will look very dangerous. But if it doesn't, we're susceptible to like making some mistakes. And I feel like that's where all the team goals, or most of them, come from. It's just us allowing it to happen versus the team really playing for it.
No, listen, I hear it, man. And then not only that, so I want to quickly just shift it in terms of our injuries. And the only other injury we've got is obviously Ibu's not back yet, Bradley's not back yet. But I don't think they're far off. I think these guys are they're gonna be back pretty soon. But another guy he's out again, bro. And he's out again because he's sick again, and that's CHIESA, bro. He missed once he's been back fit, he missed one of the games. He then got in the League Cup. Was it the League Cup one? He got some minutes in, and then now he's sick again. He's got another cold or flu. I don't even know what's going on. So the man's immune system since coming to England is been, I don't know what's going on with him.
To be fair, I heard Salah said it on one of those off the pitch tapes where he's like, "Yeah, welcome to the rain," or "Yeah, there's not a lot of sun here." So, I mean, it is an adjustment. Some players aren't necessarily cut out for that. Like when I first came here, yeah, getting used to the snow was definitely a thing. Now I can go outside with just some shorts and flip-flops in the snow. So there's definitely an adjustment, man. I won't knock the guy or scrutinize him for not being able to adjust to the weather, because it is an adjustment. Footballing wise, I had high hopes for him as far as like performance and stringing some games together. I don't think he'll be able to do that. Maybe towards the tail end of the season. Maybe, I don't know when the season shifts in the UK or in Liverpool period, but yeah, my perception of England is just it's a great country, man. So, yeah, not everyone is cut out for that, man. So, if he's out, it's unfortunate, but the big takeaway is he's never really been vital to anything up until this point. So, losing him is almost like, bro, we've never used him. It's like buying a tool that you never really use, and then you misplace that tool. It doesn't really affect your ability to get the job done. So
I know I hear it, but there's a moment when you're like, oh, god damn it, man, I had that tool. Where is it?
Yeah, but once again, he hasn't shown us anything where we're like, yo, we can use that. So you see how Jota, we know what he has to offer, and when he's available, we use him, and to his credit, he's always been needed and vital. Like he secured a point for us in one of the games. Bradley, yeah, we see, he can offer some rest for Trent. He has offered some rest for Trent, and the only worry is for me coming out of this game with another injury. So as long as none of the men go down in this game, I think the current injuries that we have shouldn't have any effect unless a man go down. You know what I mean? God forbid one of the center backs go down. Then that's when the current injuries become an issue. Like, yo, when is these men coming back? But for now, nah, I think the men that are injured are calm. We can get the job done without them. There's Leicester's injury is people that, yo, we needed these men to put up a fight. Our injuries is more of, it's unfortunate we don't have that ability, but you know what, boys, we're going to actually go the extra yard or the extra mile because there's no respite for you, man. You know what I mean? There's no relief. But I think if we map the game up, we can just manage the game and manage the legs in the game. And I feel like for me, that's what I want to see in this game. I want to see in-game management. I want to see us not going end to end. I don't want to see us going full sprint, 100% from the first kickoff to the last kick of the game. I feel like we just need to work on in-game management. If we're up 2-0, yeah, don't take your foot all the way off the gas, but yeah, just pull it back a little bit, manage the game, knock it around, wear their men out, wear their men down. So I think this one should really be like a training day activity, unless Leicester come with some mad tactics and mad plan that prevent us from doing that. You know, them teams are like, yo, it's an easy one today, boys. And then that team turns up out of nowhere. You're like, yo, yeah, no, we're going to have to go up a gear. So I think we should just play to the team's strength and weakness for us and just play against the weakness of the other team. Like, they don't really have an attacking threat to go toe-to-toe. So just don't give them any moments where they can see daylight. You know, so if they're sitting back, expect to hit us on the counter. Okay, if we know that's the plan, okay, you know, set up the traps, close down the angles, close down the outlet. And I feel like we have the capacity to do that. I feel like no one that's missing or injured is a detriment for us doing that. You know, so yeah, I feel like we should just work on that, man. Work on game management. If we take the lead, all right, knock it around, wear the other team out, wear them down. Okay, secure another goal, rinse and repeat. At the end of the day, we should be a comfortable 4-0. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it.
Nice. Nah, good, bro. I can't even hear it now. Fredo's saying that big up Zibiri mic is crackling really bad. I can't even hear it, to be fair enough. Feels like it's gonna have to tune off when speaking, bro. Enough love. Can you guys hear? Because I can't hear it. Let me know if you guys can hear it. They're saying the mic is still crackling, but for me, on my side, I can't hear it. Yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. When Zibiri speaks, is it crackling? Yeah, I can hear it. All right, Zibiri, try and jump out and jump back in, and maybe it fixes it. But I can't hear it from my end. Yeah, I'll wait for him to jump back in. We might as well shift and speak about this, and then I can get his take on the way back in. Virgil and Salah, obviously on social media, there's a lot of conversation around that they've signed or going to sign a new 3-year contract. I haven't seen any of the major journalists speak about it yet, or the tier one, as people like to call them, speak about it yet. So I think we have to take this one with a pinch of salt. I'll just have to wait and see whether or not them two in particular will sign a new deal. I'm hoping them two do, to be fair, because I think especially with Virgil as well, man. Yeah, it's going to be so hard to replace that guy. And to be fair, him and Mo, to be fair, but I feel like you can that somewhat do. You'll find a different way in it. We've lost our star in terms of forwards across the years of being a Liverpool fan. But finding a good defender, bro, we struggled for years trying to find a really good one. So it'll be interesting, man. Big up Scraps as well. Big up Hash. Big up to every one of you guys in the chat. Love for the love, guys. Make sure you're liking and subscribing if you're new to the channel. Much appreciation if you have. But yeah, nah, man. I don't know. Where you guys been hearing it? Yeah, I heard it. What do you guys think, man? Because it's just a lot of conversation being had, but no one. I don't know if the journals are speaking or wanting to kind of say anything on it yet, or maybe no one knows. Maybe no one knows, and we all just waiting, and they're waiting as well. We are waiting for years now. In 5 days, it's over. In fact, no contracts. Is it 5 days? Is it 5 days? They can speak to any other club now in Europe or in the world if they want to. Big up, man, if it was when you were speaking, but it's all good. I'll hang out. Yeah, nah, I didn't hear it from my end. But yeah, I honestly, I just don't know, man. I don't know. I guess we just have to wait. I don't see why they would, want to leave, man. I think Mo was happy, and I think Virgil was happy. But obviously, if they're not going to give them what they feel they're worth, then I guess they'll, if they can get that somewhere else. But then I don't know. Are they willing to sacrifice everything just for, I don't know, for extra money? I don't know. Let me bring Zabiri back in. Big up, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it sounds exactly what it was before. I don't know. Maybe.
Nah, maybe sometimes it's just like because me and you are here and streaming, maybe it's just how it's streaming out, you know.
Okay.
It might just be one of them things that's out of your control still.
No, I was just talking about Mo and Virgil's contract situation, because online, obviously, I know you're not a man that's in the spaces like that, but online, a lot of people are speaking around. Yeah, their man is signing a 3-year contract, Virgil and Mo. But if they don't sign it in the next 4 or 5 days, I think it is, as AC was saying in here, that they can obviously speak to other clubs directly. They don't have to necessarily wait for Liverpool now. They can just sign for another club at this stage. Don't know what your
Well,
thought is. Big up.
I don't want to disrespect anyway the way anybody look at, you know, this situation, but I think just logically speaking, bro, yeah, if they open their options to see what else is out there, that
Mm,
is their right as a player. That's what they've worked for. You know, that's the value that they bring to the table. Um, if they're like, what I, you know, that's their right, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what they've worked for. Um, it doesn't mean the first club come knocking or talking to them,
mm,
they're gonna sign with that club. So let's say, conversation purposes, let's say PSG approached Salah, right? And
mm,
yo, Salah, this is what we can offer you. The only thing that does for us is put him in a stronger position, saying, yo, this is what's out there. You know what I'm trying to say? So
mm,
negotiation wise, they might just be looking for a better position to be in to negotiate. Because if they're telling us, yeah, I'm worth this, the club might be like, nah, you're not really worth that to us. Well, it's one of them ones where your missus go, yeah, if you can find a better chick than me, then go find her.
mm,
Bro, your missus do not mean that, bro. Because when you go find a better chick, bro, what else she's gonna do? She can't upgrade herself to match that chick. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm not worried about them being able to talk to other clubs. I'll be worried
mm,
if they actually sign to another club. Because until they sign, bro, it's all your speculation. You see what I'm trying to say? It's
mm,
business. So some business deals go down to the last wire. Some business deal go down to the last moment. So them talking to other clubs is irrelevant, bro. It doesn't put us in a strong position, but bro, it's the players' right. That's what they've worked for. It'll be unfair for these men to be grafting and don't have the ability to negotiate their worth. So for me, it just puts them in a stronger negotiation position. So can't knock it. It's part of the game, bro. So for me to get up in arms like, oh my God, in 4 days they can talk to other clubs. Yeah. And they can still sign for us. They can still sign for us in freaking March. So until they actually sign, it is their right. I'll be
mm.
worried if every week they're flying to a different country to talk to a different club. You know, like on weekend when man's supposed to be training. Man's like,
Yeah,
yeah, nah, I can't make training. I'm going to Spain, so I will sit down with Barcelona. Then I'll be worried. You see what I'm trying to say? So
yeah.
until then, I'm not worried. Because here's the thing. They can be open to talk to other clubs and actually shut down all conversation with other clubs. Like, yo, I know I'm available. It's like me on the internet, bro.
Mm,
Yeah, I got internet. I can be on socials. I choose not to. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, they
mm,
can have the ability to talk to other clubs and still don't talk to other clubs. It's like your missus, bro. You left her in the wings like, yo, I'm not talking to her. She has the ability to go talk to her next man. She chooses
mm.
not to. You see what I'm trying to say?
I think the tough part is for I'm trying to think about all angles for the Liverpool fans, right? So the tough part is, right, January, that these guys can speak to anyone. It means it could sway whatever deal you might have had planned or whatever deal you had in mind to give them. Not only that, they could say, well, Liverpool are looking to give me this. And then they go, oh, we'll just double it then. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They can just there twanging you like, yo, what, they don't value you guys, and we'll give you 400, we'll give you 500. You know what I mean? Come here and see out the rest of your contract, man. We'll value you and love you here. So I think that's the only reason why when this comes around, there's that level of other clubs can find out what your main club is offering you or how they're treating you. You can then just use that against the main club. Like, raw,
Yeah,
PSG
but bro,
came in and
I
said,
think it leans more to, you know, the people them that don't believe in the current structure of the club. I feel like they're the only ones that's worried because they don't believe the club's ability to still close the deal. You know that, like, I always have to use women as the analogy. Bro, you go to the bar, bro, and you see a chick and you approach her and she ain't really giving you no play. And you just there with her all night. And the man, I'm like, yo, bro, leave that chick alone, man. She ain't really giving you no play. But you're like, nah, man, this is, I'm saying, this is the target. I'm gonna pull this. And sometimes I might get away from you, bro. You might not get it in that first night, but you pull up again the next night. You know what I'm saying? Jerking you around. Eventually you end up with her, bro. So it's all about persistence. I don't doubt the club's ability to re-sign them. But then the other thing is, what if they're not in the club's future? If they're not in the club's future, bro, it's beyond what me and you want or like. You see what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
People talk about Salah's goal and his contribution, and it's great. I'm not taking none of his goals and his contribution away. But I'm not delusional to think Salah's the only player on earth that can give us any sort of result or impact. Like, think about that. You see what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, they're a great value and asset to the team. But if the direction we're going in, they're not key or pivotal in that direction. Right or wrong direction, only time will tell.
Yeah.
So, like, right or wrong direction, Klopp leaving, a lot of people are like, yo, this is it. End of a dynasty. And then look where we are. Not even a season after. We're halfway into this Klopp's departure. So you never really know, bro. You see what I'm trying to say? We might think Virgil is like the best thing cooking or has been the best thing cooking. And the next guy comes in and we're like, fuck. You remember that guy, number 4, Virgil, with the ponytail and that? Like, it can be like that. Like, no one expected Salah to be where he is when we first signed him. Look where he is now. See what I'm trying to say? KDB, Wolfsburg, Chelsea, City. We're like, fuck, man, this fucking guy, man. Rodri. No one really had these accolades on these players until after the fact. So when these guys leave, in the moment, it might be a great miss. You know what I mean? I thought us winning the league with Suarez, Sturridge, and Sterling, then we lose all 3. I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna ever even get there. Klopp comes in 3-4 years later. I'm like, shit, we might actually do this, and we did it. So with Salah, it's like, fuck, man, we might not be able to replace this guy, and we might actually do replace him. So it's all about changes, man. The sport is ever changing, ever growing. Players getting old, new players coming through the ranks. It's just one of them things, man. You'd hate to see him leave, but at the end of the day, bro, the club's been around since what, 1892? It's 2024, bro. We're gonna go on 2030, 2050. We're gonna keep pushing, man.
That's the tough part in it, because it's like when you're used to a play and you're used to seeing the outputs and you're used to seeing what they can do and how they've help adapt or change the club, and then the idea of losing those players, you go raw, like the club, how we're gonna go on from this point on when these guys leave. But we've watched enough seasons. I'm sure most people that watch the channel, have watched at least Liverpool for 10 seasons minimum, or even more, and seeing that we've had players that we rated left and we still win on one stuff. We've had Gerrard, we've had Torres, we've had Alonso. You've had, some people don't rate Carragher no more, but he was a diehard when he was, playing for us. We had players where people looked at, and that's just naming. You had Owen. I know he's not the guy that people like now because of the Man United transfer. We had Fowler. You had like Rush, depending on how old you are. You had Kent. You had players that left us after, and then we still went on one stuff. Bear in mind, obviously, it took us a lot of years to win the league, but the fact is we still went and won trophies without players. And we're going to do this. Liverpool are going to be here after these guys, well after these guys. Do you know what I mean? So I get it, man. I get it. I would love them to sign. I'm sure you'd love them to sign. But if you're right, if the club goes, I know we rate you and we respect you, but we're looking to pivot in the next couple of years in this direction. So we can't afford to be giving you whatever you want. We have to give you what we think is respectable for you and the club. Because when we're ready to
Yeah,
pivot,
and I'm of the belief
mm,
that even if we win the quad, a double, treble, or nothing at the end of the season, I'm of the belief that yeah, his numbers are great this season, but there's no guarantee they'll be the same next season, right? And with this new manager, he hasn't really changed the team or bring anyone in. So we don't really know what direction this guy is going in. This guy is literally
mm,
moving in the same direction with players that Klopp was moving in. He's probably tweaked a few little things. So we don't really know the style of football he wants to play. He's probably just playing to the current strength of the current team, if that makes sense. So the
mm,
current strength is Salah as an outlet. Salah is on penalty. Fast break with Salah is always an option as long as we can get these moments and put these moments together. Gakpo is a creative outlet that we can use. Dangerous. If he has the opportunity, he will shoot. Finding the pass, Sabo running in behind. Like, these are just some small tweaks he's made. We don't really know the type of football he's really trying to play and if these players are even that, because Hendo's a great closeout player and he's not even using that. That tells me that's not a direction he wants to go in. I see some people in the chat talking about the ability to give out contract and gamble. It's not a gamble, bro. It's just a strategic move. Like I said, the club's future isn't determined by the current players. The club future is just
mm,
directed by the director of football and where he sees the club and who's best for the club and where they want the club to be at. Salah does not determine where the club is going to be at in 5 years. And that is what the real reality is. So they might want to give him a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal with the option to extend. Salah might want a 3-year deal. So I think for Genie, I think that's what it was. It was like contract length. So if we're not at the point where we're debating contract length, what's the length of contract you would give Salah? Because you can't give him a 2-year contract. There's no guarantee 2 years from now he's going to be able to give you them numbers. You see what I'm trying to say? So the direction of the club, Virgil shouldn't get more than a year with an option to extend. Same thing for Salah. Shouldn't get more than a year with an option to extend. Now, from a player perspective, that's not the best contract for you to be signing at that age. So what do you do then? That's out of your control. You see what I'm trying to say?
mm.
So we can't just look at it cut and dry. Like, oh yeah, sign him up. Sign him up to what? A 4-year deal? Why would I give that guy a 4-year deal? There's no guarantee in year 3 and 4 he's going to be able to deliver. There's no guarantee. He's going to want the minutes. That's going to freaking limit the next guy that should replace him minutes. When that guy should just come in with the freedom of having the ability like Nunes to get that free range. Whether he hits or not, the guy coming in is going to need that ability to play himself into form, get a run of games together. He's not going to be able to get that with Salah there. VVD is the same thing. This is the current club's captain. If we sign Virgil's replacement and Virgil is here, how much game that guy is really going to get? How many times Virgil is really going to be excited about being subbed off, not seen out of game? So these, bro, like, I'm
Yeah,
not
he gets
making any
subbed off. It's
excuses,
long,
but
bro.
these are the real factors that determine how effective the contract will be.
Listen, it's a compelling argument, bro. Compelling argument, strong argument in terms of what do we do? I'm sure every Liverpool fan, most across the world, want them to sign and would give them everything. Would be like, yo, whatever they want, just give them. But guys, I know that's what we want, but that's not how it works. And I feel like they have to come to a decision in terms of what's best for them and what's best for the club. And obviously, the player's always going to look at what's best for themselves, and the club's going to always look out for what's best for their interests. So unless we meet in the middle, and I think there's going to be negotiations, there's going to be stuff that you're going to have to be like, okay, I'm going to have to adjust my what I think in this situation. So if Mo goes, I want 3 years, and the club goes, well, we want to give you 2 with a possibility of an extension if we choose to, I think that's still within the realm of Mo could just go, do you know what? That's fine. But he might not want to do that. That's something he might not want to budge on. He might just go, I want guaranteed 3. And the club is like, well, we can guarantee maybe you kill it next season, but that second year we don't know. And what we don't want to do is then be tied down for another year after if you don't, you start dropping off. So there's going to be some compromising on both ends. But yeah, go
I
on,
don't
V.
think from the club perspective, I think it might be one of those things where we don't really know what the prize is. So if you ask a fan right now, who's the prize in this situation? Is it Liverpool or the player? If you're gonna tell me the player is the prize, then we're standing on 2 different ends of this thing. You know what I'm trying to say? I know a lot of players that would love to come and play for Liverpool. I don't know a lot of club that would love to have Salah. And when you tell me, oh yeah, a lot of teams would love to have Salah, I don't think Salah will be in City's plans. I don't think Salah will be in Chelsea plans. I don't think Salah will be in Arsenal plans. I don't think Salah will be in Spurs plans. Okay, I've given you some of the big 6 teams, even Man United. Let's go with the big 6 of England. Salah is not in any of those teams' plans outside of Liverpool. Okay, so now we're going overseas. Can you see Salah playing over your winger over there at Barcelona, the Lamal or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
No. So he's not. Okay, so is Salah in Real Madrid's plans? There's no team on earth that have a 3-year plan for Mohamed Salah that we can go, rah, man, we should have held on to him for another 3 years. He's not in any team's plan for the next 3 years. So therefore, he's not the prize. The club is the prize. Think about what I'm saying to you, bro. Salah will not be in any Champions League team in 3 years. Let that sink in, bro. Salah in 3 years will not be in the Champions League if he leaves Liverpool. Even if he's at Liverpool, he might not be in the Champions League in 3 years. That is how the club is trying to think. If you have an issue with that, and even if people say, yo, PSG, which it's the only one that makes sense because them, man, Salah going to PSG is not winning the Champions League.
Yeah, that team needs more than just Salah, bro. That team. Yeah. They're not.
It's not to take anything away from Salah. But what I'm trying to show you is when we're going to contract negotiation with this man and we said 2 years with an option to extend, that's best case scenario, fam. Unless Salah's chasing the bag, that is literally best case scenario. And if he's chasing the bag, then clearly he don't give a F about me or the club. Man said I must be a fortune teller to talk about what's in 3 years. Bro, 3 years, do the math on Salah's age. And in 3 years, do the math on Salah's work rate. Because it's not like Salah is defensively involved in the game. There's some games Salah don't even show up till after the 70th minute. Bro, where is he going? Look at Cristiano Ronaldo for Man United when he came back, right? He had the most goals. He had the most goals, and he was not involved in the build-up play. How long did that last? Didn't last long, did it? So yeah, he brings things to the table. We're not taking that away. Goals and contribution, great. But from a club perspective, it's not smart to sign him for 3 years. And like I said, the contract thing could just come down to contract length. If Salah is really faithful to the club, he'll go on a year-by-year basis like Milner. I'm not saying he's of the quality of Milner, but Milner understood what he brought to the team. We understood what Milner brought to the team, right? Milner wasn't here for himself. He was here for the team. I don't want to say Salah is only here for himself, but he can be here for the team, bro. On a year-by-year basis, loyal servant to Liverpool, extend, build his legacy, cement his legacy. You see what I'm trying to say? There's nothing wrong with going year by year. So even if he feels like, yo, I want to leave my options open, then okay, then go by year basis, where every year you can walk away, should you choose to walk away. Still in his favor, you see what I'm trying to say, Ends? So even if you go, yo, you know what, I'll sign for one more season with the option to extend or walk away. That's not bad. We still got the guy, right? Fans are talking about keeping him. We can keep him on a year-by-year basis. If he wants to walk away, he can walk away. So he would still have the power to walk away. Him getting older is lessening the value anyway. He's depreciating anyway, bro. So if both of them want to stay, best case for them is year by year. Best case for us is 2 year with an option to extend. Talk to me, Jens. Contract wise, what we talking about here?
Listen, as I said to you, bro, I want him. I would love him to stay, man. But I'm already. I know from a business standpoint. I just know, bro. If the club goes, fuck it, bro. They don't care. Even though
No,
the
but if you
fans will
want him
go,
to
man.
stay, and doesn't matter if he stays on a year-to-year basis,
No, as
because he's
long as
still
he
here.
stays in it, as long as he just stays, bro. Just stay in it. Just stay in. If we like. But I know it's the player's mindset is I need to be secured in it. Is like I need a retirement fund, bro. I need to make sure when I retire, the
Bro,
fund
that's
is
what I'm
there.
saying. They're chasing that back. They're chasing that 3-year deal worth, 60 mil or something like that. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, bro, it's business. You know what I mean? We're trying to secure our place 5 to 10 years from now. Salah isn't in that 5 to 10 year plan.
Yeah, it's mad still. And if he's not in there, then you have to go and find the next stage.
You see what I'm trying to say? So
But
it's
the
not
club is
risky,
gonna
man.
get.
It's just these are the make and break moments of most clubs. What he's done for us, no one knew he was gonna do that. The difficulty in replacing him in this moment seems impossible, but you never know until you actually replace him. We will never know until we replace him. So
And I
it's
think
one of
that's
those things, man. It's just one of those things. You can't really call it and be like, yo, let's just sign him up for the hell of it, and then next season is the actual season where he just goes missing for most games now. Some man's just on a big bag and is just a passenger.
Do you know that's the one thing? Yeah, that's the one thing for him. Like, because I know how fickle fans are in this day and age, right? And that's the one thing I don't want to happen. Is he's left such an enormous, and not even left because he hasn't left yet, but he's built such a great legacy at the football club, record after record, trophies after trophies in terms of winning the majors and stuff. And I know how fickle fans are. If he goes and have like one of those falling off seasons, bro, he'll get rinsed, bro, and everyone will just forget all the great work he did. They'll just forget all the great work he did. They'll just be like, yeah, man, he was just a stats guy. And they're like, raw, nah, they can't. Yo, talking about one of the legends.
See, the work rate he put in, right? And I don't understand the conversations online. I'm not there to see most of them, but I'll see the energy of like some of the men them or gal them in the chat, whatever you men are on. If we're talking contract, we're talking business. If you're talking about this season, his ability to talk to another club doesn't affect his performance this season. Because he's still here this season. So even if we win and he left on a free, that's the best case scenario. He left on a high. That's the best case scenario. We win a quad and Salah walks away. You're talking about next season. We have all of summer to work on that replacement. You see what I'm trying to say? It's the position we're in as a club. It's the best position to be in, bro. Players are aging out. Performances might drop. This is where you want to be. You don't want to make any rash decision on how today will affect us 3 to 5 years from now. Some fans are saying, yo, let's just focus on this season. Then let's stop talking about contracts then. What are we talking about contracts? There's no player that's going to be signing a contract now that won't finish the season. Think about what I'm saying. There's no player that we're in contract talks with now that won't finish the season with us. So all we're talking about is next season. So if you don't want to talk about next season, then let's talk about the games. Let's talk about performances. Man talking to another club have nothing to do with this season, bro. Because he's still going to finish the season here. So this is where I don't understand. So man bring up contract, that's business talk. We start talking business, man's moaning like, yo, let's just focus on the season. Then what are we doing? And for me, that's why I can't be doing no press conference, because these are contradicting conversations. Contract talk is strictly about next season. I give you all the facts about contract and the future of the club. You're like, nah, more than that 5-year thing. Let's talk about this season. Okay, then don't bring up the contract. You see what I'm trying to say? So when I see these men on the internet and they come in the chat with these conversations, bro, you're just reading things and reacting. You're not actually thinking for yourself. Contract a business move, and business moves are never short-sighted. Name me a short-sighted business move. It's always how it affects you in the long term, bro.
Has to be.
So if we're talking about the end of this season, all we need to focus on is player performance. Are we on about player performance? Can Salah performance increase outside of just the numbers? Because we've seen more dead games with numbers than performance without numbers. Now, if we're going to talk, let's talk. If we're going to conversate, let's conversate.
We're conversating,
so if you want to
bro.
talk about
man.
this season, let's talk about how we can get more out of this guy that's currently here. So we're not talking about how we can get more out of players that's here. We're talking about how we're going to get more years beyond this year. Yeah, bro, man needs to get a flashlight. I hope you got a flashlight for Christmas so you can see what you have. You have something great, bro. Don't worry about next season. Next season will sort itself out in preseason, fam.
Yeah, it will sort itself out. We have to, you know what I mean, see how this one goes. But now, listen, big up to everyone locked in, man. I see it can get, when we speak about contracts, the club, FSG, stuff like that, they get the emotions. Everyone just gets all emotional. Nah, I think we have to be open-minded on both ends. You know what I mean? If you want to have your say, you know what I mean, throw it down in the chat. If you want it to, you know what I mean, for us to take note of it, obviously. You know, there's a few of you guys in there. There's a poll in there right now. You know, which one you prefer to sign? You know, who would you rather keep? Virgil, Salah, or Trent? You know, who's more important currently, or is all three of them important? Let me know, man.
And these men act like they love the player more than the club.
That's the standpoint I've seen.
Nah, but then they slate the player for not choosing the club. So it's like you're doing the petty thing. You're loving the guy in hopes he loves you back. But when the guy don't love you back, you feel mad because you love them over the thing you should have loved the most. I love the club more than I love the player. I'm not going to love the player so he can love my club. So I'm not loving the club through the player. I'm loving the club for the club. If the player loves the club back, that's great. If the player loves me back, great. But if I say I want what's best for Salah, and Salah said what's best for him is to leave, I can't get upset because I loved him more than I love the club. There's no player I love more than the club. There's none.
But I think that's kind of where it is now. And I'd love to have this kind of discussion, but maybe on another day. Is the player love more than the club love? Like, we chose to support Liverpool, not the player, but we support the players that play for us. So if a player decides he wants to leave, then it's not like we're gonna go, you're a waste man, blah blah blah. Just appreciate your service, thank you very much. You know, I hope you all the best in your endeavors in the future. And then we go again, bro. We find someone else and we turn them into the superstar. But I feel like now it's just all around the club. But I ain't gonna lie, there's one player, bro, for me, and it's Virgil, bro. Like that one there, I have that one guy, because for me, Zabir, bro, with him, you know, when I look around, there's obviously good defenders out there, innit? There's players out there. But when you come across the one guy that you're like, raw, like he has everything.
Yeah, I saw his signing day video. I think they posted up recently. I don't know if an old video that popped back up when he first came into the club, man, and the way he was talking and, you know, happy to be here, and, you know, his whole demeanor and his mannerism on the first day and the impact of that signing. I'm with you, man. That's the first name I think I bought, you know,
Waller, man, absolute.
As a kit, bro, that Virgil kit, bro, for me, man, massive, bro.
Big up, honestly.
Massive. If we can tie him down, great. If we can tie down all three, great. But I wouldn't want to sign Salah for more than a year. Even Virgil, as much as I respect and love Virgil, bro, I think the best thing for the club is a year extension with an option for another year. I think this is the best move. The Milner contract thing, bro. Every year Milner was in contract talks. I think for those two guys, they've earned that.
Yeah.
Bro, When a player hits 31, 32, that's when you need to see the love repaid back to the club. And the only way I think a player can do that is by just signing 1-year deals. That's
Give
the
us
only
your
way I
best.
think it should happen. I think that should just be the law. You love this club, just do 1 year, 1 year, 1 season per season basis. So if you feel like you're tired this season, all right, you can walk away at the end. I don't think we need to be signing them up so we can sell them later. Don't tell me you love the player. Tell me you love money.
But not even okay. Even from that standpoint as well. Okay, I think there's two ways. I'm not going to try and speak for every fan, but the reason why I think sometimes when the resale value stuff is because we've kind of acknowledged that the club don't go out there and spend a lot of money in a single season. There's been seasons where we've done that, but we don't go out there and go, well, we're going to splash 80 here, 90 there, 100. We're not going to do that. So I think that's where the resale comes in, because we don't want to. We assume or we hope that everything that we sell we can keep and use back, in terms of in that transfer pot. So if we're doing a year by year and Mo decides to walk, then we don't get that resale value, because now even if we would have got 20 million, we know that 20 million could have gone towards another player. So that's why I'm thinking some people are going to have a bit of a pushback in terms of like not trying to hear the conversation or not trying to understand the conversation. But listen, man, it's always open. It's always open and honest, man. It's always good conversations. There's no bias, no agendas. It's just trying to see it from both ends, man. We want the player to stay at the club, but the player decides to go. And Zabir makes a great point, man. The year by year thing would be jokes still, because what it means is the player for every season, he's going to try his best to perform, because he knows if he don't perform, they're not going to offer me another deal. But if he performs, the club knows we have to offer him something. Look how well he performed. And both party wins, bro. But then it's the resale value. You don't get that. You don't get, especially with a club like us. I think if they were like a City, Newcastle, I know they've not been able to kind of spend their money because of the Premier League restraints to an extent. So like Newcastle could go out there and buy whoever they want, but because of the constraints, they can't do that. So that would be jokes if they did that, because they'll be like, "Wow, we don't care about the resale. We'll just go and buy another player if we need to." But I don't know how long that business model could hold out for. But listen, great conversation, interesting conversation. But yeah, man, let's move on to the lineup. My predicted lineup that I think would start. And this is what I've gone for from a predictive lineup. So I've gone with pretty much the same team from the last game. So I won't even bore you guys with it. It's the same team that started against Spurs. I would run it back again. I feel like that team worked well. I just want them to just a bit more switched on defensively, man. Lock these man out and don't allow them silly little goals, bro. But I'd go with Lucho up front again. Go with Mo. Go with Cody, and go with Sobo as your front four. The two pivots: Gravenberch and McAllister, Trent, Robbo, Gomez, Virgil, and Allison. That's what I'd go with. I'd love to know what you guys think in the chat as well. And I'll get Zabiri's take in a second. But what do you guys think? Do we run the same lineup again, or is there anything you would tweak? You don't have to give me a full lineup, but give me the player you would take out of said lineup to be replaced in there. But Zabiri, there, yeah?
Yeah, I would go for Kwanzaa over Joey.
Bringing Kwanzaa back in.
Yeah, I'll bring Kwanzaa in, and like I said, the thought process is we have to keep an eye on the fact that Bradley's not ready, so we have to keep that eye on that right back situation. You know what I mean? So, or just go Joey and Kwanzaa off the start, and then bring one of them out as the game progresses, and then bring Trent on. We don't need all the weapons for this game. I think this game is a game where we can really utilize some rotation as well. So just to keep a mindful eye on the fact that we're thin center back wise and right back wise, just to keep that kind of eye on it. You see the approach he took. I forgot which game he did it in when he was like, yo, Rob, Trent is out, so I'm not going to let him start, but I'll bring him in.
Newcastle, I think it was.
Yeah. So I'll go with that approach. But then the way Newcastle is more of a threat than Leicester. So for me, I'll go that route. I see a man saying Jota for Diaz. I don't think that's a bad shout either. Just let Jota start the game, rotate Diaz, and just keep a mindful eye on the rotation. You know what I'm trying to say? Just to save some legs, not run the man them out. Sabo had a great game, great running in that game as well. A man like Harvey can really come in, you know what I mean? And just get some minutes, take over as well. It could also be a moment for Hendo to just come in. If he doesn't start the game, at least rotate him in. Like there's games you need to really keep an eye on rotation, is what I'm trying to say.
We got so for the rotational piece, I definitely agree. You have to rotate. I feel like they've had when was our game? Sunday, right? So we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is it Thursday today? Yeah, so we've had what 4 days? 4 days. So I think that's enough. The next game, however, is in 3 days. So that's when I expect the rotation to happen. Simicast will come in against West Ham. And then maybe something in the midfield area, Curtis, maybe Harvey, just to freshen it up a bit. Jota will come in, maybe even Nunes or something along those lines will kind of come into play. But that's when I expect the rotation piece to happen a lot more. I think whoever starts this one, I think there will obviously be rotation in terms of the substitutions. But I think from a starting standpoint, I'd still go with the same team. And then for West Ham, I'll change that starting lineup because that's when you're going to definitely probably need to rotate just to make sure you have a bit more fresh legs for that game. But yeah, that's the lineup I'll definitely.
Yeah, no, it's a calm lineup, man. I love to see it. The boys are performing all this season, so I think it can be another routine one. I think they can get the job done. But yeah, no, just a little future proof as far as the next year going into the calendar year strong. I think it'll be a good look if we go in there with a mindful eye on saving some of the players. You know what I mean?
What
Don't need
about
to do the burnout thing, man. I feel like Spurs is a burnout game. 6-3, back and forth, end to end. I can't see Leicester doing that. So,
what about
man, I
your
trust the coach. I trust the team. So let's see what them boys do, man.
what about your score prediction, bro? Going into this one, chat. You already know what we do.
3-0.
3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Who you got getting your goals, man? You starting the same lineup? You happy with that lineup? So you going off of that basis, or is anyone you tweak in there and
Yeah, I
then
think
that's
I
where
will
you get?
go Salah, Gakpo, and Virgil.
Okay, so I got Virgil from a corner. Yeah, I'd love to see Joey G get on the end of something, man. I'm gonna go. I think we'll score a few goals in this one, man. I'm gonna go 4-1. For some reason, I think they'll get a jammy goal, man. But I don't mind that. But I'd rather the clean sheet. But I'm gonna go Salah to get 2. I think Lucho scores again, and I think Gakpo scores. That's what I'd go with. So Salah 2, Gakpo, and Diaz to score in this one. And
That's
for
not
them,
bad. That's not bad. I like it.
I'm not too sure, man. Big up Lloyd, man. You already knows, man. Smash the like, peeps. You already know, man. Throw your score predictions in there, peeps, and your goal scorers in there. If Vardy starts 3-1, if not 3-0, Jota, Salah, and Elliott. Yeah, I'll run with that still. And just to while you guys are doing that, putting in your score predictions in there. Let's see some of the comments I saw from so Virgil said trophies are what Liverpool will be always be about. Yeah, man, we've just been a club that we need to win, man. We're the most decorated club in England for a reason. You know what I mean? We're not out here playing around. Henderson said he thinks Virgil can play until he's like 39 or 40 if he wanted to. What do you think of that one, Zabir, if you're still there? That's an interesting one still. Big up, Max. Big up. Mo Santa scoring. I don't know, bro. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. He says, and then Arnie says, I hope that you've enjoyed the football that the team has played so far. And you have my word that we will keep on working as hard as possible and can on improving. So, I don't know how this team can carry on improving, bro. I know there's obviously little things that we can improve doing, but to lose one game? If we improve on losing one game, what's that? Losing no games. He gone with 7-0, 7-0 Darwin Brace, Salahati, Dom and Gravenberch. 7. Have they what's their highest score they've lost by, bro? Let me just quickly. Was it the Man United one, 5-2? I think that's the highest they've They lost 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 is the highest they've lost by this season. Yeah, 5 is the highest they've lost by this season so far. So getting 7 will be crazy. That would be crazy still. But let's see if there was another one in there. And yeah, there's no other ones in there. And then obviously the Ibu contract thing, you know, I'm sure you guys have seen it for Richard saying Ibrahim Konate will extend his Liverpool contract. Let's see, man. Definitely need to sign him up. I think the next year, man, we need to make sure we sort out these guys ones soon, because next year we've got a few players that have got contracts coming up as well. Big up Trudon. Big up to Zibiri as well that jumped in. Maybe he's had to tap out for a sec. But listen, guys, I'll wrap it up there, man. I'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was chill conversation, man. Really, really chilled conversation. Look, we'll be back tonight, 10 p.m. So I'll be back tonight, 10 p.m. Just my thoughts, reaction of the show. I'll see who's available and throw them the link, and we can chop it up, man. And hopefully we're celebrating another win. We're celebrating another 3 points and hopefully a clean sheet, man. Because if we can get one of those again, we're in a happy place. But yeah, man, you guys are going to be redirected straight to that 10 o'clock stream. So guys, just head over there straight away. Just drop a like on it so you don't have to do it if you do, join in later. Big up, Liz. I hope you've been good. I hope Christmas has been good, man. We need to score, and often Leicester are coming off of a bad loss. Yeah, we do. They've lost 2 back-to-back, 4-0 and 3-0. So we need to add salt to that wound, man. But listen, guys, go and enjoy the rest of your Boxing Day. Don't know what you guys have plans. I'm definitely gonna see what's available out there to put some bets on, man. And yeah, man, just chill out, relaxing, and waiting for that Liverpool game, man. And yeah, man, join me at 10 o'clock tonight, and then whoever else is available to jump in the stream. Guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.